Guys are always asking me, how can I reach the top 1% of men? Or how can I leave my old life behind and become the type of man that actually gets respect from girls? The type of guy who doesn't have to sit in front of his computer late at night alone in this bedroom, looking at websites that he shouldn't be looking at. And every single time them ask this question, I always tell them the same thing. And what I tell them is that they simply need game. But game is not what you think it is. You see, at its core, game is knowledge and putting that knowledge into play. It's understanding the secret rules of this game of attraction between men and women and how to play it. You see, nobody ever taught us this stuff growing up, and there was no class in school that would teach you what I'm about to teach you. And it's a game that will forever change your life, and it's a game that will set you guys free. Starting with number one, you only need to be better than the competition. Now, one of the craziest things that so many guys today believe is that to get with a girl, they need to be the coolest, richest, hottest man to ever walk the face of theirs. But this is the crazy thing. See, at any given time, the girl that you are interested in most likely only has a handful of guys who are showing interest in her and a handful of guys who are chasing her around, trying to get her attention and trying to get a chance with her. And each of these guys has X amount of value, meaning some of them have money, some of them have looks, some of them have confidence, but even more of them have a low total value. Doesn't mean that there's something wrong with a person who has low mate value. It just means that they don't have a very high value in terms of what girls are looking for when they are wanting to get with a guy. So to get with a girl, you don't have to be the most confident man in the world. You don't have to be the most attractive man in the world. You simply have to be better than the competition. And the competition is the handful of guys who the girl that you are interested in currently has offers from. Far too often, guys get caught up thinking that they need to be the perfect specimen of a man before girls will even consider them. And it is this unnecessary pressure that causes us to mess things up, and it causes us to lose confidence. See, one of the most important rules of game is knowing that you only have to be better than the competition or better than the men that she currently has offers from. And this is actually easier in today's world than it ever has been before in history, because men in today's world are exposed to social media and cheap dopamine hits, and so many of these things that have made us weaker over time. So if you're putting in a good amount of effort into yourself every single day, then you're already ahead of most men. Number two, flowers are worth nothing. Imagine for just a second, you have two guys. Both guys are competing for the same girl. One of the guys sends her flowers and the other guy sends her nothing. Now, on paper, and according to the way that most guys in today's world think, the guy who sent the flowers must be winning, right? Because he sent her flowers and the other guy sent her nothing. So the girl responds to each of these guys with a text message, and the guy who sent the flowers says, "Hey, did you get the flowers that I sent you?" And the girl says, "Yes, they're so great." And then the guy who sent her absolutely nothing sends her a text. He says, "You know, I've been too busy with other things to message you back." So, in a situation, most guys would logically think the guy who sent the flowers is the guy who won because this guy did something for her, whereas the other guy did nothing for her. This is yet another example of the secret rules of the game and how the game actually works, as opposed to how we think that it worked. You see, the guy who ends up at the girl's house later that night is not going to be the guy who sent the flower. And one of the most important rules of game that you can ever learn is that you have to put value on your time. One of the greatest differences between men with game and those without is that men with game put a great value on their time. So instead of constantly wasting their time to send girls flowers, they are spending time on themselves. The funny thing is that girls won't always act like they just want you to drop everything for them. But at the end of the day, it's simply a game. It's just a paradox. Girls have not and will never value or respect guys who do not value their own time. You see, on paper, the guy who sent the flowers should have won in this situation. On paper, the guy who sent the girl 5 messages instead of 1 should have won. But as we all know, in the real world, it's the other guy who typically wins, isn't it? So many guys these days just don't value their time because they're not really doing anything significant with it. You see, when you start to value your time, it completely changes the game, because instead of spending your time sending flowers to girls and trying to convince them why they should be interested in you, you are choosing to spend your time on things that are far more valuable and far more important. Number 3, you before them. This is honestly one of the most important things that you guys can ever learn about gaming, and it completely flies in the face of everything that you've been told about females, about game, and about how it all works. You see, Most dating books or dating coaches or pickup artists or whatever you want to call them out there, most of them are running around trying to pick up girls in malls and making videos of themselves while doing it. And the truth is that all this is BS. All this advice is completely backward. You see, the main focus of all these goofy dating books and dating coaches is to simply put you into the mindset of chasing. And all that really does is brainwash you into unconsciously making girls the prize or into making girls the main focus. But girls were never, ever meant to be the main focus, and they never should be. You see, as men, we have always been built to conquer, or for conquest. And see, back in ancient times, men set out to conquer territories and to acquire more resources and more land. And there was never actually a point in time where men set out to pick up women in a mall. So you have to ask yourself this: would you rather spend your time chasing girls around the mall trying to pick them up, or would you rather spend it trying to become stronger, richer, and smarter? All the men out there who know the secrets of game know that females have and should never be the main focus, because when you focus on you and you put you first, the girls who will inevitably become attracted to you are just like an added bonus. You see, guys who have no game have it completely backward, and they focus on, how can I get the girl? How can I get the girl to like me? How can I get this girl to go home with me? But if you focus on how to actually be a man and how to conquer your own life and live your life like a man before you ever even think about females, this is what sets the 1% men apart. Number 4, girls don't want jerks. They want confidence. So ask yourself this: how many times has somebody told you that girls like jerks? Now, one of the most common pieces of advice out there is that girls are completely obsessed with guys who are jerks. But the funny thing is, girls don't actually like jerks. The thing that makes girls absolutely lose it is not being a jerk, it's actually confidence. And the unfortunate truth is that in this day and age, it just so happens that most of the only guys who have any real confidence also happen to be the guys who are jerks. So many guys in today's world have become really soft because they're too busy playing video games and not doing things that men used to do. So when girls out there ask, where are all the good men at? What they really mean is, where are all the men with confidence? Because when given a choice, girls will always choose a good, strong, and confident man over a man who is a jerk, but who also has confidence. So the focus should never be on trying to be an awful dude with bad morals. It should never be trying to be like the guy who is always in and out of prison or just a terrible all-around human being. The focus should be on being a man who is confident in who he is, without all the unnecessary flaws that come with being your typical jerk. The focus should be on understanding the rules of the game and how to play it, and this is what's going to put you into the upper echelons or into the top 1% of men. But always remember that knowledge is only power if you actually put it to use. So make sure you know the rules of the game, but at the end of the day, you have to make the choice to also live by them. Having game is really all about changing the way that you look at things, and it's really about changing your mindset. You see, the problem with the way that most guys think is that they are still stuck in the typical Disney fairy tale land that says that the guy is the one who must win the girl over, or the guy is the one who must give everything with the hopes that a female will choose him. And this works perfectly when it comes to like penguins and monkeys and most animals, but humans are different. So we have to play by different rules. So imagine how things could change for you if you stopped thinking, how can I win over the girl? And instead started thinking, what can I do to improve myself to the point that no girl on the planet will be able to resist me? Put yourself in a position of power, flip the script, and as you begin to climb, at some point, girls will start trying to figure out what they can do to win you over. These are the 4 rules of game that they just don't teach you in school. And so with that said, until next time, thanks for watching. So, you have watched this video till the end. So, I have something for you. I have created the masterclass for the guys who want unlimited power and dominance in their relationships. Guys who want to generate attraction instantly without having to rely on lame pickup lines and openers. Guys wanting to get their ex-girlfriend or wife back and never to see her leave again. Guys who want the ability to make women fall in love with them at will. Guys who want authority and dominance in their love lives and never to be seen as weak again. Guys who want to get out from the dreaded friend zone and get into the lover zone. Guys who want to have choices with women and have a relationship without the drama, confusion, and headache. Guys who are getting back into the game and want to sharpen their dating skills with the best attraction techniques. Guys looking to turn a casual friend or coworker into a devoted lover and get her to be physically and emotionally addicted to them. If you don't take any action to understand women in your 20s, you'll suffer heavily in your 30s. So buy it right now or regret it. It's on 50% discounted rate. Buy before sales ends. Buying links in the pinned comment and description.